Welcome to the Pacific Northwest edition of America Outdoors Radio. We've got a fast-paced hour of fishing, hunting, and conservation covering the nation and the Northwest, including 13 extra minutes of local content you'll only hear on Seattle's Sports Radio 950 KJR.
It's Saturday morning, and we're starting our program today with a breaking news story we have put together about your Washington Fish and Wildlife Commission. When it comes to people who serve on the commission, you probably assume that the vast majority of the individuals who serve are hunters and anglers who care deeply about these sports and the agency that regulates them in the Evergreen State. With that in mind, we decided to find out just how many of our 8 serving commissioners possess a hunting or fishing license. We filed a public disclosure request with the state to get the names of those individuals who purchased either license in 2017. And the results? Let's just say they're surprising. Only one commissioner, Don McIsaac, the retired executive director of the Pacific Fishery Management Council, purchased both a fishing and hunting license last year. In fact, McIsaac is the only commissioner who even bought a hunting license. 2 other commissioners, Dave Graybill, a well-known fishing personality, and Bradley Smith, the chair of the commission, did buy fishing licenses last year. But that's it. Out of 8 serving commissioners, only 3 bought a fishing license and only 1 possessed a hunting license. Barbara Baker, Jay Holtzmiller, Robert Kehoe, and Kim Thorburn, they apparently don't hunt or fish. At least they didn't last year. Larry Carpenter, the former owner of a boat dealership in Mount Vernon and a longtime advocate for sports anglers, did tell me that he has hunted and fished for 70 years, but he has not bought a license the last 2 years because of medical issues that prevent him from getting out on the water or in the field. So we'll give Larry a pass, but let's do the math. At best, only half of our commissioners are anglers, and only 2, that's right, just 2, appear to be hunters in the recent past or present. Let that soak in. These are the people who give direction to the agency providing us with fishing and hunting opportunities or taking them away. This is the same commission which just approved a 15% license fee increase for hunters and anglers, raising it from the modest 5% the Department of Fish and Wildlife asked for in August. When you don't have any skin in the game, so to speak, it's probably a lot easier as a commissioner to raise those fees because most of the commissioners aren't going to be buying these licenses anyway. The other thing that's troubling is what the agenda is of the non-hunters and non-anglers on the commission if it's not about sustainable fishing and hunting. I think it's fair to say conservation is important to everyone who is serving, but opportunities for outdoor recreation as far as fishing and hunting go and growing these sports, maybe not so much. Perhaps we should offer to mentor some of our commissioners and take them hunting or fishing. Who knows? They just might develop a late-in-life liking for the activities that you and I have loved for years. Or maybe we should contact Governor Jay Inslee and ask him why he isn't appointing more hunters and anglers to a commission that provides direction to the state agency that regulates fishing and hunting. There is one bright spot, though. The Washington Department of Fish and Wildlife Director, Kelly Sussewind, he did have both a fishing and hunting license in 2017. Stick around. We've got more of the local outdoors coming your way, to include a visit with the fishing department staff at one of our Puget Sound area Sportsman's Warehouse stores to tell you not only where the fishing's hot, but how to catch those fish. And you'll want to be listening at the end of the hour, too, because Bob Loomis with Mack's Lure Company is back to talk about that Tillamook Bay Chinook salmon fishery that's heating up right now and a lure you can use to get some of those kings into the boat.
That's your first local shot of the outdoors. Now let's see what's going on across the nation.
It doesn't matter what sort of adventure you're after. Whether it's big game deep in the backcountry, a day of fishing out on the water, or an overnight in the great outdoors. At Sportsman's Warehouse, we've got the gear in here for what you need out there. Gear up for your next adventure at one of the Sportsman's Warehouse stores or shop online. Sportsman's Warehouse, America's premier outfitter.
Backcountry hunters and anglers, the men and women working hard to keep public lands in public hands. Check us out at backcountryhunters.org.
Ready for more local fishing and hunting? You got it. It's the Pacific Northwest edition of America Outdoors Radio, right here on Seattle's Sports Radio 950 KJR.
As we roll into the end of September and early October, you may be thinking to yourself, where should I go fishing here in the Pacific Northwest? We've got somebody to tell you that. Her name is Brianna Bruce. She works at the Sportsman's Warehouse store in Everett, and she is also a guide. She has a website, liveinlifeadventures.com. Bree, great to have you back on the show.
Good to be back, John.
So, Bree, where should people be fishing and for what right now?
Definitely head to the Snohomish River for coho salmon. We've had a fantastic season on them out in the saltwater this year, and we have them moving up the river. With every shot of rain that we get more fish up the river.
So I understand there's a 2-fish limit. How do we go about catching these coho?
This time of year, I would definitely focus on finding areas that they're holding, like behind logs and rocks, that kind of thing. And I would target them using Dick-Night spoons, casting and drifting them, or casting and retrieving them, or with plugs. Trolling plugs upriver is how we normally fish them in the Snohomish, and drifting downriver or staying stationary anchored and casting them.
When it comes to the plugs, are we talking quick fish? Are we talking hot shots? And what color?
I really like the Yakima plugs, both the fat fish, which are now called fat wigglers, and the maglips. I like to troll the maglips and cast the fat wigglers. Anything chrome with chartreuse and orange on it are my favorite go-tos, like the good old boy color.
One last thing we should mention is that all of the Puget Sound area Sportsman's Warehouse stores have got a coho derby going on where the biggest fish at each store will net you a $1,000 gift card. It's going through October 31st. What is the biggest coho that's been brought in so far to your store in Everett?
So far, we have one around 10 pounds.
All right. Well, folks, I know you can beat that. So when you go out and catch your coho, whether or not it's over 10 pounds, bring it into the Sportsman's Warehouse store, whether it be the Everett store or the one in Silverdale or the one in Puyallup or the one in Federal Way. Get it weighed, get a picture taken, and you are entered for a chance to win not only the big fish, but there's several other categories too that can net you some gift cards worth up to $1,000 from Sportsman's Warehouse. And if you want to go fishing with Bree during her off days, her website is liveinlifeadventures.com. Bree, thanks for the great forecast on where to go fishing on America Outdoors Radio.
You're welcome. Good talking to you, John.
NorthwestFishingReports.com is the Northwest's largest fishing reports website, featuring well over 50,000 fishing reports, videos, articles, and more. All 100% free. Catch more fish with Northwest Fishing Reports. Log on today.
Cast and blast your way across eastern Washington's Columbia Basin this fall with guide Shelby Ross. Shelby is an expert when it comes to walleye and bass in Potholes Reservoir, Moses Lake, and Banks Lake. Shelby can also take you out on a field hunt for geese or out for a morning of duck hunting and a lunch of kebabs. Trust me, you'll love it. Can't decide whether to cast or blast? Go on a combo trip. Book now at potholesfishing.com or ducktaxi.com. That's potholesfishing or ducktaxi.com.
The off-season is a great season to visit Mardon Resort. Located in eastern Washington's Columbia Basin, you'll find incredible bird hunting, great wildlife watching opportunities, and fantastic fishing in a boat or right off the marina docks at Mardon Resort. Better still, off-season deals save you money when you bring your RV or stay in the hotel or wonderful park cottages. To find out more, log on to mardonresort.com. Mardon Resort, where the outdoor fun lasts all year long.
Sportsman's Warehouse is America's premier outfitter, and with over 90 locations, you're sure to find a store near you full of the gear you need to succeed this hunting season. Firearms, ammo, archery equipment, decoys, clothing, boots, and more. You'll find it all at Sportsman's Warehouse. Better still, the knowledgeable staff can help you with tips and frequent in-store seminars, all designed to help you bag a trophy or a limit this hunting season. Find a location near you or shop online today at sportsmanswarehouse.com.
Tillamook Bay is considered the greatest fishing experience on the west coast for fall Chinook salmon and winter steelhead, and Dungeness crab is plentiful. 5 major rivers connect with the ocean on the Tillamook coast. It's not unusual to snag a 40 to 50 pounder. Go out in a boat or stand on a riverbank or dock. Try fishing from a dory boat and experience the thrill of a beach launch and landing. Use spinners, sand shrimp, or salmon eggs to lure them. The fish will line up to grab your bait. Go to tillamookcoast.com/fishing to find guides and places to stay.
Don't leave yet. We've got one more local shot of fishing and hunting to wrap up the Pacific Northwest edition of America Outdoors Radio.
It's time for another Mack's Minute, brought to you every week by Mack's Lure Company. With us again is Bob Loomis. And Bob, right now ought to be prime time for salmon fishing in Tillamook Bay. Of course, it's always weather dependent, but a lot of folks associate salmon fishing in Tillamook Bay with the month of October. When it comes to fishing out there and getting some of those salmon in the boat, what would you recommend using?
One of the first things that I would use, large spinners are probably the most predominant tool used down there for chasing the salmon. And one of the spinners that we've got here at Mack's is the Scorpion Salmon Spinner. It's a two large bladed spinner put together with beads, and it works absolutely fantastic for attracting fish as well as drawing fish from a long ways away with the double blades.
Now I see this one's got a hoochie on its treble hook, and since it's got a treble hook, I guess that means we're not using bait, we're using scent on the hoochie instead. Is that true?
Correct. Yeah, you could put a strip bait on there, but it's very difficult. You want it to run, as straight as possible. Because of the design, you don't want it to run offset. So, yeah, just putting scent on it works much, much better.
Any recommendations on the scent?
Procure, I'm kind of partial to the bloody tuna and anise combinations, things like that, to draw fish.
All right. Well, there you go, folks. It's the Scorpion Spinner from Mack's Lure Company, formerly made by Shasta Tackle, and you'll know it when you see it. It's got two spinner blades. One's an Indiana spinner blade. The other one is a big willow leaf spinner blade, and it is a big lure that's going to attract some of those big salmon. Look for it at a sporting goods store near you or online at maxlure.com.
That's all for this week, but don't worry. We'll do it all again next Saturday morning from 7 to 8, right here on Seattle's Sports Radio 950 KJR.
Are you looking for a game changer to help you catch more trout, kokanee, and salmon? No problem. Just tie on Mack's Crip Lure. Cast it or troll it. Either way, its specially designed ring chamber emits a low-frequency vibration with its erratic movement. It will catch more fish and make them strike. Better still, the different colors for the lure can be matched to just about any fishery. Look for the Crip Lure from Mack's Lure Company at a sporting goods store near you or go online at maxlure.com.
From the Columbia River to Puget Sound, the Coastal Conservation Association in the Pacific Northwest works to conserve the fish we love and does so while protecting our heritage of sport fishing. To find out more, go to ccapnw.org. Again, that's ccapnw.org.